Bonjour, je m'appelle Cynthia, je suis un professeur à Université McGill. We have a project that we're leading out of McGill University that is seeking to look at how increasing crop diversity might be a solution to reduce the potential responses of soil carbon and microbial communities and pesticide use to current and future changes in precipitation. We have a diverse team for the project, so we have experts in modeling and stakeholder engagement, specialists in breeding and agronomic performance, as well as in soil organic matter dynamics and microbial ecology. We're working with AAFC, Mary Catherine Levis, who's an expert in microbial ecology, and also have partnered with Antonio Petro out of Regeneration Canada to really lead the way in our stakeholder engagement. And then we have experts in pesticide retention and use. And we have a group of collaborators that we've put together to help us both with knowledge creation and mobilization, but also to help us inform and to share the scientific outcomes of this project. So we're working with Sebastian Belliard out of AMAFRA, who is the Eastern Ontario Soil Health Specialist, as well as Dr. Anna Cates, who's the Minnesota, U.S. State Minnesota Soil Health Specialist, to expand our outcomes to the larger region of the border and of the U.S. border. And then we're also working with the Union of Female Agricultural Producers of Quebec and Matthew Ryan, who's an expert in Kernza, which is a perennial weed, which is one of our treatments out of Cornell University. The main goal of our project was to use a controlled cropping system trial that we've set up at McGill University that is along a crop diversity gradient with a real emphasis on spatial crop diversity to see if increasing crop diversity can support higher microbial functional and structural diversity and soil organic matter storage, and if these effects in turn result in reduced pesticide use and attenuate the effects of altered precipitation. So here I'm showing conceptual models of our three main objectives. So our first is to see if and how crop diversity changes microbial diversity, both in terms of function and composition, and how this affects soil organic matter. And then our second objective is to look at the direct impacts of crop diversity on pesticide retention and mobilization and the use of pesticides. And we expect that there'll be an interaction between objectives 1 and 2 where changes in microbial functional diversity and soil organic matter will also influence pesticide mobility and retention. And then our third objective is to examine how these changes in microbial diversity and soil organic matter influence the resiliency of agronomy, of agronomic performance, and soil organic carbon, pesticide use, and microbial diversity to water stress scenarios. So under drier or wetter conditions with a higher crop diversity, so shown in blue here, we would expect to see more resiliency to these various response parameters that we're looking at along the y-axis. So these are the diversity and rainfall treatment plots, or DART, that we've set up at McGill University. They go from 1 species to 4 species, and you can see that we are focused on legume and small grain cereals rather than the more common corn and soybean. And the goal here was to include crops that are grown successfully in Quebec, but that are maybe not so common, in order to potentially increase the landscape diversity of Quebec agriculture with the outcomes of this work. So we have these different species mixtures, including a perennial wheat, which is in this case Kernza, which is expected to have strong impacts on soil health. And then we have 3 different precipitation treatments. So we have a reduced precipitation, an ambient precipitation or control treatment, and then a 30% increase in precipitation along this species diversity gradient. This in the corner is a picture of the rainout shelters that we'll be creating. This is something similar to give you an idea of what that looks like. So I think that we've set up a strong plan for our project knowledge creation and mobilization. This is showing the 4-year plan over time. We're in year 1. We're starting with investing all of our efforts in creating a strong and very focused producer network. So we're having a 1-day event where we're developing a network that we will work with over the course of the 4-year period, both in terms of co-creating and making adjustments to the project as we move forward each year, and a group that we can feed and provide knowledge back to. And so we envision this as being very much a reciprocal relationship. And then you can see over the course of the 4-year project, we have a few communication deliverables planned. So 2 1-page news flashes that will be created in years 1 and 2, along with 2 5-minute video modules. And then at the end of the 4-year project, we have planned a 4 to 6 page public summary report that would be delivered to our much larger network from the US-Canadian border, Eastern Ontario, and throughout Quebec. That would include graphics and highlights from the project. Then we have a series of events planned, including 2 field days in years 2 and 4, a half-day workshop. The theme is going to be informed by our collaborators in terms of what they think the need and interests could be. And then we have a 1-day symposium planned that would occur on the last day of the annual Living Symposium that is hosted by Regeneration Canada every year. And then in the end of the 4-year period, we have a kitchen table event with our smaller producer network. And the goal here is to have a discussion about what worked in the project, what didn't, and get an idea of the future directions that are needed and what should be carried forward in terms of long-term application of the work that we've done. So I wish that all of you the best of luck and in your application, and I hope that this was helpful. Thank you.